Hi Alexis, it's David Potter. I'm going to do my own little thing on the roofs here. I'm not going to get into the other issues that Scott did. It's perfectly fine that he did, but I'm just going to give you a little bit different take on this. Now, Scott and I agree. I'm going to just get rid of these roofs here and that hip roof. These slabs. This is my opinion. You ask for opinions. Here's mine. I'm going to get rid of this roof plane. Okay. I'm going to take this roof plane and basically wrap it around the house. Use a brake tool right about there where the porch is. Extrude that over. Now when you do roofs here in an isometric camera view, the results are usually kind of spotty, so I'm going to go back to plan view. And I notice you've got this thing layer on here. Let's see what that is. Whatever it is, I don't normally have that layer on. Okay, it's a slab. Now, don't know what the slab's for. Let's see. Slabs. Okay, I'm going to turn that layer off because you've got a lot of slabs. I'm going to turn it off in plan view anyway. Get the S key, go to slabs, uncheck that. They're still there, just to turn them off in plan view. All right, so there's that roof plane I was working on right there. So basically it needs to wrap around the house and then tie in again over here. I'm going to break it around, use a brake tool. I can't, let's see, yeah, I need to turn the reference display on. Yeah, okay, that's where it needs to break. I think I hit it fairly close. And then it ties in again over here. I'd use the join roofs tool for that. Like that. I'm going to go back to the camera view. I think it's a cleaner look. Let me hit F12, see if we can get rid of the, oh, that's probably a slab. Yeah, I agree with Scott. We'll just get rid of that slab. I just deleted it. Okay, I need to fill in this little hole here. It would let rain in, wouldn't it? We'll put a break there and then drag that back over there against that porch slab. I understand why you did use a slab here, because you just wanted a little reveal on the a little bit of a reveal on the railing. That's fine. That didn't outrage my sensibilities like it apparently did Scott. But we're different, you know. That was just his first reaction. I think it's a cleaner look. Deleting that ceiling on the inside, you know, who knows if that was a good idea. Maybe it created a problem elsewhere. I think Scott's idea about putting a gable here is fine. And also the windows. I remember he said put some windows in. I'm going to mess with your walls, because your walls, you've got them where you want them, even if they are improperly formatted. You do have them working. Yeah, what Scott noticed over here on the stair is that in the United States and most places in the world, the landing has to be at least as deep as the staircase is wide. Let's see how wide it is. 38. Yeah, in the United States, most of them are like 39 inches wide. Isn't that right? 39? I think it's 39. And I'm not going to quibble about that. It's a little narrow, I think. But the landing needs to be at least 38 inches wide, and it's currently not. Let's see. I'm going to move the whole thing 39 inches. And see, it kind of crowds your landing over here. Let's turn the fill off in the stairs. It's over on the fill. Turn that off. It just covers up the door swing a little bit. So this is kind of non-optimum. Let's see what the stair thing says. Okay, it says it doesn't reach anyway. I know you weren't asking about the stairs, but I thought I'd just take a quick look. We'll take a cross-section through there. Oh, yeah. Needs to be up here and it's not even close. That's probably why you had this window down here, because this landing's supposed to be quite a bit higher. Well, all right. I'm just going to measure and see where this thing is coming out right there to where it should come out up there. I'm looking in the taskbar. It's about, well, I moved my, right when I was about to read it, I moved my hand. About 1,800 millimeters. Get rid of that dimension. So I'm going to, see, I'm going to take this landing here. Oops, I got the room dialog. Well, okay. I thought I could get the staircase this way. I did. Okay. I'm going to change the undo automatic heights, and so I can set the bottom and top. And up here, the floor level is, this is not the only way to do this. This is like a lot of things that I do. It's a way. The floor is 156 and a quarter, and we want this, the top stair of this thing here. So I can get the stairwell. Well, I had it a minute ago. There we go. 156 and a quarter. It's just, I want the top stair here to be about 149. Let's see that change go in. Whoops. Well, that's not right. I'm going to hit Control Z. Reminds me of Rocky and Bullwinkle. Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. And he pulls out a tiger. Floors 156 and a quarter. What's the default? Oh, I see. All right. Well, there's more things going on here than I thought. What's the ceiling down here? Okay. Let me go back to Edit, Default Settings, Floor, for the first floor, since we're on the first floor. And the ceiling set to 9 feet. And just open this dialog box here. And you've got it set to 100, and kind of need to make up your mind, and whatever your ceiling height for the first floor needs it needs to be set in default. Wow. Okay, there's about 10 feet, 12 feet, about 12 feet. I'm not saying that you have to have all your ceiling heights the same, but that's what defaults are for. And it looked like you wanted to have about 12 feet. Most of the rooms on the first floor are about 12 feet. I'm looking at the finished ceiling. Okay. So the way you get the software really working for you is you set defaults. So I'm going to go to Edit, Default Settings, Floor, and on the Structure tab, we'll set the finished ceiling to 144. And we'll go over here and edit, reset to defaults, first floor. This is so I don't have to open every dialog box on the first floor and reset them to defaults. Now they all should be okay. I may have to go through here and recheck, recheck defaults. The ideal scene for when you're designing is you set the defaults for the majority of the first floor. And I'm like Scott, I'm kind of guessing as to what your intention was, but I'm just reading what was there. Most of the rooms look like they're about 12 feet in terms of a ceiling. And the ceiling height determines where the roofs automatically build, and even when you manually build them, we're getting a little coffer lines right there, and over here. Let me show you where that comes from. Those little coffer lines just come in where the roof plane hits the flat of the ceiling. So, and those little lines, you can't select them; they're just on a layer. That's where the little lines in Plan Viewer come. So these roof planes are probably a little bit low because they were following your manual roof settings. The roofs were following the manual settings, and they're slightly off. Well, this is a little more involved than I intended. I'm sorry. I'm just going to go to a new plan, and I'm going to set the defaults for this new plan to 12 feet. Ceiling be 12 feet. Okay. Now the point of this in this blank plan is I just want to, it's a shortcutted way for me to find out what the ceilings are supposed to be and what the roof planes are supposed to be for a 12-foot plate. Okay. Now when I go in here and draw a roof plane, I drew that in the wrong place. I don't know if you noticed it, but I manually drew it, and the baseline drew on the inside edge. It needs to be on the outside edge of the framing, or the main layer, as Scott was talking about earlier. Okay, see, I've got the ceiling set to 144, about 12 feet, and so this roof plane, the reason I did this is so I can figure out its baseline. Okay, and the baseline is 152. I'm not really concerned with the pitch. I just want the baseline for that ceiling height, 152 and 13/16. So I'm going to go back to our plan, Control Shift, and see what this roof plane, what these roof planes baselines are. They ought to be all the same for these first four roofs. I don't care what the pitch is, but you can see. Let me copy that in. Okay. Wonder why they're still. I was thinking that I might get rid of these coffer lines. Excuse me. 144. What am I missing here? I still see the coffer lines. That ceiling is set to, excuse me, 144. Well, fiddle faddle. I need about another 6 inches. So I'm just going to cheat. And shift select these roof planes again and use a transform replicate and move them straight up about 6 inches so that they stop coffering the ceiling. I thought I was being so smart with that other plan. See, those lines disappeared now. Yeah, no coffer lines now, except over here where apparently there's you've got the ceiling turned. No? Okay. Okay. Anyway, enough of that. Oh yeah, I was going to trying to figure out these stairs. I don't need this plane anymore. Didn't need it in the first place. Now let's see what the defaults are for the second floor. And they're set to 8 feet. Well, that's fine. Well, let's see what the ceiling height of this room is. Whoop! It's not 8 feet. So it looks like you intended about 9 feet. So again, I'm going to go to the default settings and make that the default, because that's apparently what you wanted. Okay, I'm going to hit F12, and I don't see any coffer lines up here. Okay, those roof planes are riding a little bit above 9 feet, so that's the reason there's no coffer line. Okay. Look, our column did a bunk. That's a British saying for when absent without leave. Okay, the only other thing roof-wise, Scott was talking about doing this as a gable. I think that's fine. A little bit easier to do in plan view than doing it in a camera view like Scott was doing. And the only other thing I would do is get rid of this slab here and just take this roof. Well, actually, you could, let's see, put that at the default setting, and we'll just draw a manual roof here on the edge of this porch. You take it for what it's worth. I'm not charging you for this, so it's free for you to accept or reject. Oh, I need to change the pitch first. I'm going to change this to like go 112. I should have done that before I tried to join them. Okay, let me look at a camera view of this. No, I'm giving up on those stairs. I'm not going to put that in this video. Okay. Now, why won't that? Oh, maybe it's off in the z-axis a little bit. Let me. Maybe it's too low. In other words, where's the camera tool? There we go. That ought to join. I don't know why it's not joining. I'll try it one more time. Okay. Just had to give it some friendly persuasion. I'm going to go back to plan view. And of course this would just overhang those areas there. And what's your overhang over here? 450, about 460 millimeters. Okay. So I'll escape out of that. Hit the space bar. I'm going to set this to 480 or 460 or whatever it was. I'm just going to say 460. Yeah, okay. Control Z. I put in the wrong unit thing. I put in the right numbers, but not the right mm. 460. Like Scott, I'm kind of stuck on imperial measurements. I'm an incorrigible Yankee. Let's see, 460 mm. Oh, you don't like my capital MM? Okay. What was that for? I think it was 460. I've got my cap keys on. That's what's the matter. Okay. Okay. And the point of all of that was to just put some symmetry in this. I'm going to put a break right there and then extrude this down, set it to 460. It's measuring to 2 points in there. Let me just measure to 1 point so I can just click on here and set it to 460. Okay, almost done. It looks like your wall layers were, like when Scott found the main layer set wrong, and that was wrong. It wasn't just a Ugandan or a Kenyan or an Ethiopian thing. The main layer is the structural layer, and if you set sheetrock as or plywood as the structural layer, well, that's where the trouble comes from, because plywood and sheetrock are not structural. So don't do that. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, it looks fine. The columns have, like I said, have done a bunk. We'll just click on that and then hold the shift key down and click on that one. See if they won't go home. Okay, fair enough. So when I first looked at it, it looked like to me, I think that would be a nicer look. And you could do the same thing here if you wanted to have a little more ceiling room in this area on the first floor. You could break it off right about here and have this pitch a little bit flatter. Instead of 4, you could go 112 like I did here and get some more ceiling height in this area of the first floor. That's up to you. But this is my little offering for you originally asked for roofs, and I started to go off on a tangent with the stairs, and I probably could have, but I don't want the video overly long. So thank you. I hope you appreciate Scott and my efforts on your behalf.